What is going on, Notre Dame fans? Mike Singer and Tim Hyde live on a Wednesday night, uh, talking Notre Dame football, and we even got a recruiting topic later in the show. Hope everyone is doing well. Whenever you are watching this, morning, afternoon, evening, or listening to the podcast afterwards, we just appreciate you for making Tim and I a part of your day. Mr. Hyde, how are you doing, my friend? You excited for Notre Dame football to be back? Or are you are you not excited after this season?
Is it 2024 talk yet? Are we almost there? So, no, it is what it is. Hopefully, fingers crossed, right? It's like finish strong, get a couple more wins here, go play in your little cuddly bowl game, and on to 2024. That's basically where I'm at now. So, the rest of the season's fine. You see, recruiting is that a fast, tall receiver that's going to go make plays or no?
I hope so.
I'm joking, of course, but no. Looking forward to a little fun senior day this week, and just win the damn football game, right? Win the damn football game. Get to 8 wins.
Yep. If you are watching live with us, or if you are watching a replay of the show, please hit the thumbs up on this video. Really helps support what we're doing in blue and gold. Of course, subscribe to the channel for more content. Plenty of videos and shows on a daily basis, even in the off season. Tim and I will be live every Wednesday night for the foreseeable, indefinitely. Kind of our show lineup right now is Mondays Horka, Wednesdays this show, and then we're moving our recruiting show on Thursdays to Fridays. Kyle and I did do the show Thursdays during the football season because we travel so much on Fridays. But kind of when the season, football season dwindles down, we move that show to Fridays. It's just a lot better for us to do on a Friday. So again, hope everyone is well. We have a really interesting show lined up. Tim and I were just talking before we went live that like Notre Dame always gives us content. I mean, and I'm not just talking about the football games, like Marcus Freeman talking about transfer portal quarterbacks, Gerad Parker admitting that he's reading his press clippings.
Yeah.
I mean, offensive line rotation, or not rotation, update to kind of give you guys that came from Marcus Freeman's Monday press conference. So we're going to talk about the news. We're going to react to the news. That is what we do here on this Notre Dame football show. And what we also do on this Notre Dame football show is look swagged out, especially Tim Hyde, the most handsome man in the Notre Dame media. And if you are looking to look as good as Tim, you might want to get to know Bird Dog, sponsor for today's show. So, folks, if you are looking for slim fit, comfortable, flexible, and stretchy shorts to rock your wardrobe, maybe some stylish pants or polos to improve your outfits, that's where you're going to want to learn about Bird Dogs. Their stuff, especially their shorts, it fits way better than the regular shorts you might be wearing, which is made of a stiff, restricting cotton. Bird Dogs fixed this issue by inventing cloud knit fabric that looks just like khaki but stretches so you get a slimmer fit without having to sacrifice movement. Go to birddogs.com/BGI or just enter the promo code BGI for a Hydro Flask style water bottle with your order. So get you some Bird Dogs. Make sure you use that promo code BGI, and you will get a free Hydro Flask style water bottle with your purchase. You will not want to take your Bird Dogs off. We promise you. All right, Tim. So to start off today's show, and we do thank Bird Dogs for sponsoring today's show. So back in what was it, January, you and Goolsby were always talking about, after this upcoming season, Notre Dame's going to go back to the portal. And we got pretty much that confirmation on Monday from Marcus Freeman. Because he talked about this before the bye week. Like, hey, we're going to figure this out during the bye week. And it looks like they did come to a decision that Notre Dame will go into the transfer portal. So this is what Freeman had to say. For folks watching YouTube, have an article pulled up that Blue and Gold's Tyler Horka wrote. So this is what Horka quoted Freeman as saying regarding that, yes, we will get a transfer portal quarterback. It's a tongue twister for me. He says, who that is, how we get to that fourth scholarship quarterback is still to be determined. We'll look at the portal when the portal opens. We'll look at different ways to fill that fourth scholarship quarterback. But we do want to be in a position to have 4 quarterbacks on scholarship. Now, he mentioned twice there how we get to a 4th scholarship quarterback. Does that mean like it might not be a portal guy? Like, could it be another high school guy like that? That kind of stuck out to me. Like, well, what are you talking about there, Freeman? Not sure. And then he also says, as I told Steve Angeli and Kenny Minchie, who have done a really good job in practice, we owe it to this program to try to put 4 quarterbacks on scholarship. That's the number we have allotted for. So, Tim, what's your reaction to what Freeman had to say on this?
Well, his answer was, yeah, I don't think he's yeah, I mean, to go off of what you just said, is it a high school kid or something? I don't know.
It is kind of
Yeah, I mean, I listened. I watched his press conference actually last night from Monday, and I was scratching my head more than trying to figure out what he was saying. I think sometimes he just throws some things out there. It seems like almost like grasping for straws right now on the offense. That's kind of what I got out of listening to him last night from Monday. But yeah, the whole fourth. I mean, we keep talking about this, Mike.
yeah.
If you go 4. Okay, I mean, does that automatically think that the other 3 are staying? It's the whole mindset. I like what you've said is it's just got to be 3. Find the right 3. I know they're like, well, what if like Buckner last year? He's injured. You only had 2. All right, well, don't get a second one injured, damn it.
Yeah.
or you go run the wishbone. But yeah, trying to find a 4th. I guess. I mean, the first, to go off of your comment was, are they looking for another Ron Paulus out there just to be a 4th guy? I don't think that was kind of a throwaway to Ron to get his son on Scully for a few years and things of that nature. That was never a big signing, you know what I mean? But yeah, the portal thing it's out. It's out there obviously because if he's saying he needs a 4th, then to me that's I've been saying this for a while. You can't count CJ Carr. I think maybe that's what he's thinking as well. Like he's an automatic red shirt. We don't have expectations to him to come in and win the job as a true freshman. It's like Trevor Lawrence didn't even do that as a true freshman. So what are the odds? Bryce Young redshirted for crying out loud. What's the odds of those things happening? So he's probably thinking like that. And then does this guy come in and he battles Angeli and Minchie in the spring? It all depends, Mike. Who is the quarterbacks in the portal? Is it going to be another Hartman, meaning a guy that just wants to play one more year, NIL, try and improve his draft status, so to speak? It's a late round guy. You're not going to find a first, second round draft choice out there transferring as a 4th-year guy, are you?
Right.
No, they're going to go pro. So it's that talk we had a couple of weeks ago with Goolsby and you and I. So that's basically where we're at, trying to look at a quarterback. Who is in the portal? It is going to be a wild one here in a couple of weeks. I think it opens December 4th. I was reading yesterday. So that Monday the 4th is when it opens up.
Okay. There is one thought I had, like, what if Notre Dame, because we saw Notre Dame last year talk to or show interest in guys who just finished up their first semester of college. Like, remember, CJ Williams entered the portal after a semester. The former USC receiver Anthony Lucas entered the portal after a semester at Texas A&M. Could they go for like a guy who just finished his first semester and then bring in a rising sophomore? Maybe, because I'm kind of just going back to what Freeman said. It's like different ways to. I was like, what do you mean there? So it's like, could they do an underclassmen quarterback? In that case, I mean, what does that look like for Angeli and Minchie? I'd probably be ticked. I don't know. Or maybe they would be happy because they feel like they have a big leg up on that player. I don't know. Or is it, someone that is, like a depth piece, not a penciled in starter, Tim. I think that Notre Dame is not. They're going to bring in the best that guy they can, but I don't think it's going to be something where it's like with Sam Hartman. Oh, you're coming here to start. Like that's a guarantee. I don't think Notre Dame's going to do that this year, and I think that would be a wise move.
Yeah, but it also comes back to who's the quarterback. Is this quarterback coming in with 5 starts or 25 starts? You're not going to get a guy with 45 starts again, obviously, what Sam had. So it depends. Is it a Power 5 guy? Is it a guy out of the MAC, so to speak? I don't. Me personally, I think it's got to be a Power 5 guy, so to speak, a guy who's played in the big games, kind of like a Cohn, a Hartman, and roll from there. I don't know. I mean, I've not studied enough of the Mountain West, the Sun Belt, and quarterbacks down there to know if there is a guy down there that's awesome. Pratt, the Tulane guy, is always being talked about, but I swear I just saw on Twitter over the weekend or something that he accepted the Senior Bowl invite or something. So obviously he could renege on that, come back for a 6-year if he wants to. But I thought I saw that over the weekend. He was gonna, that could be technically a sign that he's gonna go play in the NFL and whatever. But if you're gonna go a freshman route, it's got to be got some guys Notre Dame obviously knows. And I mean, who are the freshmen that are out there? Jackson Arnold from Oklahoma. He's playing this year, so he's Dylan Gabriel's replacement. Chip Kelly's going to get fired. So do you go back to the Dante Morse circle? The whole craziness that was that recruitment. Who knows, right? Who knows? I will say the quarterback thing, the biggest domino out there is going to be USC, because with Caleb Williams, he goes pro. What is in Lincoln Riley's reputation? The guy's got 100 Heismans that are all transfer quarterbacks. So he's gonna have the pick of the litter. If there's a dude out there, you got to think USC is going to be the top choice. And I would even say Florida State with what they're doing down there. Jordan Travis moving on. That may be some of the pecking order, so to speak, when you're looking at quarterbacks.
Are you kind of with me though that I don't like? Sure, would they like to have 4 quarterbacks in the room? Yeah, but I don't think that it's to get to that number. I really don't buy that. And I haven't talked to sources about this. This is not something I want to ask about, to be honest, because I'd rather just have my take rather than get some sourced information to be like, all right, Mike, can you not say anything about this? I don't want that, so I haven't asked.
Yeah.
I just don't buy. I don't buy the Freeman's take on that. Or what Freeman's saying publicly. I think it's just to improve the quarterback room. I've been saying, Tim,
exactly
since Freeman became head coach, I've been saying, listen, Freeman worked for who at Cincinnati? Luke Fickell. And what Luke Fickell did at Cincinnati was all about competition. Bring in guys, make your room better. At all these different positions, competition's everything. And I think Freeman's looking to do that. He's looking to improve the quarterback room. That's kind of my take on that.
No, exactly. And Luke Fickell, obviously that's an Urban Meyer type of trait. He preaches that, the unit strength that Freeman always talks about. That's straight from page 1 of Urban Meyer's player handbook that he passes out each and every year. So that's straight from him. But you're right. The 4, I don't know, why get hung up on that, especially Angeli. I mean, Angeli's played some snaps this year, right? He's throwing some passes. He's throwing a touchdown. He's done those things. So he's going into year 3, and it's like, what is his thought process like? Hey, I'm going into year 3. I'm comfortable, kind of like what you just said, Mike. I've been in the system 2 years. I got a feel for it and whatnot. It shouldn't be, he's probably not saying it's mine, but why do we have to have another quarterback come into here? So it's going to be interesting again, because he's the most likely one to leave because he's the oldest. So, so if you get a 5th-year guy from, once again, I have not studied any of this stuff. I don't even know who's out there, because they could come from someone put on our message board a list of 15 guys. SMU guy, the Tulane guy, the Kansas State guy, whoever is out there. I'm just throwing out there. If one of those comes in, it's obviously going to be a grad transfer, a rental guy for a year, for a 1-year guy. So does Steve stay? Well, I could go play. I could go to Syracuse. I could go to Boston College. I could go wherever I'm throwing out and go have a shot as a junior, go play right away. So then you're right back to 3. So why is Freeman talking about 4. It's odd.
Yeah. But what Angeli could do, if let's say he does leave, because I agree. I've been saying for a long time, Tim, you have your starter,
Yep.
you have a sophomore, and a true freshman. That's kind of it's 3.
Yeah.
So let's say Angeli were to go. You know what he could do is exactly what Tyler Buckner did, which is waste your one-time transfer and then go sit on the bench and be a third stringer somewhere. Like unless it like I don't think Steve Angeli wants to go play FCS ball and be a guaranteed starter or a group of 5. Like I think Steve wants to play big time football. So and I do think Steve loves Notre Dame. So I personally think that he would stay. So I don't know. It's fascinating. This is not the first time we've been talking about this. It is
No,
not the last time we're going to be talking about this for next, what, 8 months till the season starts? How long till next season starts? 9 months, something like that, 10 months? We'll be talking about this a lot.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And then even going back to Buckner real quick, since you brought his name up, it's like, I mean, God, it'd be fascinating. It's like, his whole thought process. Obviously, when Hartman he had the bad spring game, and Hartman's going to be the guy, and he bolted a couple days later. So it's like, would he have been the guy? You know what I mean? Would he have truly been the guy in 2024? What were some of those conversations? I don't think there
Maybe.
was any. I don't think there was any guarantee. If there was, I think those talks maybe would have happened. Don't you think so?
Guarantee about what?
Hey, you come, you're going to be the number 2 behind Hartman. We're going to give you reps, do all those types of things, and get you ready for 2024. But
I don't think that happened.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's why he probably bolted and just didn't want to sit. And you're right, the one-time transfer is key, is key because, but if Buckner doesn't graduate at Alabama here in the next semester, whatnot, he's stuck at Alabama again, and Milroe is going to be the Heisman favorite next year at Alabama. So he's not getting on that field. Heck, Milroe got hurt this past weekend. Ty Simpson comes in. So Buckner's way out of the equation in Alabama's case.
Yeah. People talking about like, okay, Angeli could go do well at Rutgers. They're
Why can't he
starting.
do well at Notre Dame? Who's to say he can't do well at ND,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, Rutgers is 6-4 this year. Gavin Wimsatt is
Yes. I've seen him
Gavin
play a little
Wimsatt's in
bit.
his second year. No, well, he reclassed. I mean,
Wasn't
Gavin
he
Wimsatt has thrown 168. Oh wait, excuse me. He's thrown 224 passes from this year. Like he's their guy. I think
that's
they're building him. So
wasn't that Mike? Mike, wasn't that the other guy they offered that year?
yeah,
It
yeah.
was
They
him, huh?
offered Angeli and Wimsatt on the
Yes.
same day, August
Yeah.
of 2020, maybe.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll throw back. Just a couple comments here. Brian Kelly's accent said going to Notre Dame this weekend. Looking forward to seeing the new Augie's location. Great comment there, Mr. Kelly. So let's hear about it. This is Augie's locker room. They're moving to 1733 North Ironwood Drive in South Bend. So I do think that move is happening soon. Give Augie a call. I'm not sure if I know the date. Let me see. I'm not sure if I know the date, but give Augie a call, augieslockerroom.com. Please do check it out. Sponsor for today's show as well, because we do know that you love Notre Dame memorabilia and unique one-of-a-kind Notre Dame items that you can only find at one place. And, of course, that is Augie's Locker Room, and they have moved to a brand new location. Okay, never mind. It is in the ad read here. Augie is having a grand opening celebration the weekend of the Wake Forest game. So thank you very much, Brian Kelly's accent, for the heads up there, as well as my good old ad read here. There will be prizes, free giveaways, and much more. Come and see the brand new store located 1733 North Ironwood Drive in South Bend, Indiana. It's just down the street from Notre Dame. He's got a wide selection of Notre Dame Stadium pieces, jerseys, helmets, autographs, one-of-a-kind Rockney items. You can find all sorts of good stuff, folks. Joe Montana signed items, a famous sculptor, Jerry McKenna's replicas of the bronze statues around the stadium. Please check it out, augieslockerroom.com. New location, 1733 North Ironwood Drive. And give Augie a call, 574-277-6363. Joey Green, thank you for a $5 super chat. says, I just read that Parker thought a quarterback was a refund. Now we know who is running the offense. I do not know what this means.
Yeah, I've just read. I don't know what Joey read, and I haven't seen any quotes that I have no idea.
A
No
refund?
idea. Like, a refund?
I
I
don't know
have to
what that
decipher.
means.
I don't know if that's a question or if he just wanted to just throw out a statement. I have no idea. We
All
know
right, well,
who's running
Joey,
now. Okay.
Joey, I appreciate the super chat, but that's what we're talking about next is offensive coordinator Gerad Parker. This was interesting. So I was not in the the interviews with the coaches. This was Tuesday. But I guess he was asked about something and he kind of went into the play action. I don't think he was prompted to ask about the lack of play actions, but this is what he said. This was I don't really even know what to make of this quote. He says, there's some realities to it. I swear, if you all would have looked at it in a man game, because I did, I tried to keep up with Katie, who's the Notre Dame football communications director, and make sure of what you guys write, because I respect your all's job piece of it and questions. You lose play actions when it becomes pieces of a man game. So you're talking about man defense, and that's what that game was. Okay, he continues. So there's no eye conflict. If I'm guarding Pete, he was talking about Pete Sampson, who was also there for the interview. I'm guarding Pete. So that's what's happening in action throws. And Sampson said they don't care. And then Parker said exactly. So we lost that some. So what they're basically saying is if like Clemson was running man defense, I guess the majority of the game, I haven't looked at the PFF to see if what the percentage was. But if the corner has man on Rico Flores to the outside, it doesn't matter what the backfield action is for him because he is focused on the receiver. So that's kind of what Parker was talking about. I am sure that the YouTube chat and Twitter spheres not excited about this explanation, but we're asking you, Tim Hyde, what did you think about this? This comment here from Gerad Parker regarding the two play actions against Clemson.
I mean, I'm always one to read stuff and say, okay, boom, you get them, give them the benefit of the doubt. They're playing man, their DBs were blanketing Notre Dame's receivers all over the place. People say, oh, guys are getting open. I've watched that game a handful of times, maybe once or twice, and it was like it would have been a special throw to get it there. Clemson's DBs are all over the place that game, but yeah, it's an odd comment. I'm more interested in why the hell does he give a darn what anyone's writing? And he's going to the communications director. I found that interesting. Hey, let him know I couldn't do play action today. Who cares? Seriously,
No, I think it was more of
I'm watching film. I don't care what all the Notre Dame web pages are writing. It's like you got enough stuff to worry about. I found that interesting, but yeah, I mean the play action. It was brought up in Marcus Freeman's press conference. Freeman even his quote was like, "Yeah, I wrote that down. I knew you guys were going to ask about that." So are these guys reading everything? Are they all subscribers? They're all checking out the articles. Horkus throwing out and making sure they appease everybody. It's interesting, and they don't want to. They haven't called a lot of play action. It's not a strength of this offense, which goes back to my rant, as you called it last week, Mike, of me blowing up. Like, did Parker and the quarterback coach, who everyone loves, did these guys watch any Wake film and see once again what in the living world Sam Hartman was good at? A lot of play action, a lot of deep shots. They are, Mike, they're atrocious. Can I say it? They're atrocious on deep balls this year. Atrocious. They are. Marcus Freeman even said in his press conference, they've caught one 50-50 ball. So sometimes with play action, is it a deep shot or is it just a flat to hold and stays? Or is it just a little dump off? When you think true play action, max protection, boom, give me a duo fake to estimate, try and hit someone on a go route. And I don't think they call it because they don't catch them. They don't catch deep passes. And that's something I'm going to be surprised if that's part of their mindset of why they haven't done some of the things that
Yeah.
that the press constantly talks about.
Yeah, I mean, Joey Green said, "Sorry, Mike, it was a joke." Talking about the quarterback as a refund. Quarterback, I got it. I got it. Thank you. Took me a second, but I'm there. Brian said, "Yeah, but it matters for the linebacker and safeties." But like
Why
the
they're covering the
linebackers
run.
and safeties can be fooled, but if the receiver is still blanketed, then it doesn't matter who you fool. I mean,
Let's just
right?
go. I mean, a true play. A true play action, you know, you're trying to hit a post, you're trying to hit a deep shot, or you're trying to hit the Y bend, trying to hit the tight end on a deep crosser, you know, which to me, which the gentleman just said, that is something the backers that run, or am I trying to cover the tight end? You know, is it a max protection type of a scheme? Keep the tight end in the back end, try and do something outside. Just something they haven't done. And I'm after looking at so many numbers and rewatching things, and I mean, Mike, right here, outside target. I just counted outside targets, meaning the outside the hashes, the number to the hash. They've only thrown 18 passes this year. I count 2 they've caught. Freeman said 1. I'm giving 1. The guy ran a corner and cut back out on a 20-yarder was Thomas. I gave him that. I have them 2 for 18 on passes between basically the numbers in the sideline. That's it. That's it this year.
Are you serious?
It's atrocious. Total passes. I'm talking, once again, people have heard me talk on the show. Nick Saban's metric is 18 yards in the air. That's, to him, that's an explosive pass.
Yeah.
18 meaning you're going to catch it. You're going to get 25, 30. So I counted every 18-yard pass in the air this year. Or excuse me, just Power 5. Notre Dame's played 7. I don't care about the fade that got Central Michigan with Tobias. Mike, Notre Dame has got 17 out of 47 passes that are 18 yards and deeper. That's 36%. And 2 out of those 17 are by an outside receiver.
Yeah. Yeah. Brian continued with another comment. The goal is to get as much one-on-one action as possible. Oh, Notre Dame gets plenty of one-on-one.
Well, the whole thing's one-on-one action.
They're all one-on-one coverage. And so they don't need a whole lot of play action to get that.
Right here, Mike. Here's my little Tobias
Yeah.
Merriweather against, once again, Power 5. So I'm not counting Central Michigan, Tennessee State,
I hate
whatever
when
you
you do that, but okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but you got to look. Yeah,
Okay, I get it. It was
one thing to look at it. So I don't want to be, these numbers could be skewed when you look at it like that.
All right,
so
fine. Continue. All right, you're right.
I just want to go against guys that are equal to Notre Dame.
All right.
Tobias 0 for 7. 0 for 7 on deep shots. 0 for 7. And the ball's been in his hands. We've seen the ball in his hands this year. And that's it's crazy. And the one thing, Mike, they've only thrown to 4 outside receivers: Thomas, Tobias, Rico, and Greathouse. And we know damn well that's Greathouse, by the way, is an outside receiver, and we know he's a slot. So it's there's just some crazy numbers that I started looking into during the bye week because everyone's like, play action, you got to throw the ball more, you got to attack more. To who? And I'm not trying to be a jerk. It's like, who are you? Who can you attack with?
Yeah. Well, all right. So this is kind of my thought. Like, I get what he's saying on the man coverage thing. Like, it makes sense to me. But the bigger issue for me is, okay, so you're saying you knew what the defense was, like you knew what they were doing the entire time, and that was it. Like that was the offensive performance. Like that's the takeaway for me. It's like, damn, like you knew you don't like. What are the man beaters here?
The man beaters is the quick out the Holden Stays on the pick 6. Sam Hartman throws the ball inside. He throws the ball inside. Stays can't get to pick 6. That's just a quick. If he completes it, it's a first down. Man beater trying to hit Tyree on the deep cross on the other interception. Or Holden Stays where Hartman throws a moon ball and almost gets him killed over the middle. Those are just a handful of the couple, but they ran crossers. They started doing some dumps. Heck, man, they had the wide open guy once again, just like Ohio State, right? The running back in the flat, which we saw complete against Navy, Pitt, US, multiple other teams. Clemson, their 5-star. Thomas bats it down. JT, the 5-star for Ohio State, bats it down. Those are both walk-in touchdowns on the dump passes to running back. So things have been there. Just haven't had a whole lot of luck at a few times this year. So that's the frustrating thing. But they've been really good, over the, basically in the middle of the field with Evans. Holden Stays, big game against NC State. And obviously Tyree has caught some nice passes. Faison's caught a couple nice passes. So there's been a handful of guys. I mean, Greathouse. Before Greathouse got hurt, the guy was on pace to be a freshman on the freshman All-American team. Where was his strengths? Over the middle, right? But multiple touchdowns on running the post down the middle of the field against Navy and NC State. So both of those were deep passes. And he just hasn't been able to get that mojo back since his injuries.
Yeah. So like we said before, like, I think it was last week's discussion, like a pie chart of the offensive blame, like, some, for the offensive line, a little bit for the offensive line, some definitely on Hartman, some definitely on the receivers. I think a good bit on Parker, some on Freeman. Injuries, people don't really talk about. Like your best 2 receivers have been banged up for the majority of the season or so. Evans is out, right? Thomas has been in and out of the lineup.
Thomas and Colsey. You got 2 guys in the junior class from 2021. Colsey, as we know, caught multiple first downs last year. The last half of the year started to get his mojo back because he missed the first half, remember, because he had the minor little meniscus during camp that made him miss that first month. So you got 2 older guys that haven't played, literally haven't played. And then the third one is Lorenzo Styles, who had, 50, 60 catches over 2 years. He's gone. So that's been a kick in the pants. Just your 3 receivers from run recruiting class, Mike, are basically null and void this year. And we already know they got none from 2020, none from 2019, 1 in 2022. It's a numbers game. And it's almost like talking to the wall sometimes. No one wants to hear it. They don't. Like guys already say, well, you just got to fire the OC. All right. Who's the next OC throwing the ball to? They got to get some dudes on the outside. And until that happens, Notre Dame is where it's at. They got great tight ends, great running backs. They got some outstanding slots. Who are the outside dudes?
Yeah.
And I wish people would answer that because no one does. They just want to say fire everybody. People are saying now fire Stuckey. Stuckey's not. It's like, come on, really? Just fire them all, right?
Okay.
It's a fascinating conversation people have.
Okay, we have 3 super chats that we are going to get to shortly, but we're going to hear from another sponsor for today's show, and it is, of course, the Rogue Shop, the husband and wife outfit. Mr. Rogue and his wife Shar are craft cannabis farmers who specialize in small batch sustainable plant medicine, a true holistic type of small business. They farm and grow everything themselves. They even have THC beverages. I've scrolled this website how many times doing this ad read and not noticed that they even have CBD and THC beverages. How about that? So their website to visit, check it out if you're interested, is rogueshop.com. Make sure if you have any questions that you can hop on the chat with Shar and Mr. Rogue, answering any questions that you have. They sell everything from CBD, THC, edibles, tinctures, smokables, bath salts, pain creams, topicals, vapes, candles, soaps, and more. Check it out, rogueshop.com. And when you do, you can use that promo code blue and gold. Yeah, one word. Use the promo code blue and gold. So there it is. So yeah, check it out, rogueshop.com. Okay, super chats. Got a trio lined up here. Our good buddy Trash said this time last year, many people were calling for Al Golden's head. This is something you've talked about, Tim. This year, we're begging for him to stay. Does Parker just need another year? Love Notre Dame and blue and gold. Thank you, Trash.
Well, this is what Notre Dame fans do. It's just they got to have one coach every year to, who's the boogeyman. And it's like this every single year. It's not this guy, it's this guy, it's that guy. Man, God, people wanted Golden gone last. People were like going crazy after the USC game. This guy can't coach, blah, blah, blah. it's repetitive cycle. It's every year. So now it's Parker, yet Notre Dame could possibly win 9 games. Is it a national title, Mike? No. What did I say last week? 3 times in 30 years has Notre Dame competed for a national title. 3. So it's it's I don't know, it's fascinating. Check this out, Mike. Notre Dame has more 500 and losing seasons than they do 9-win seasons in the last 30 years. And people want to lose their mind that they may lose 9 or win 9 games this year. So I don't know. People in the chat and the comments and all that, it's the same thing as always. Like, well, don't they have all the 4 stars? Who are they on the outside this year? And that's what Singer just said as well. There's injuries. So now you're forced to play your best slots. Flores and Jaden Greathouse are starting on the outside, people. Starting. They started against Clemson on the outside. They have NFL DBs. 2 true freshmen starting. Why? Because Mike Singer just said it perfectly. There have been injuries that no one's talking about enough.
Yeah. I would also mention, if Marcus Freeman, who's leading this program, doesn't believe that Parker is the guy to take them to where it needs to be, then he should move on. That's just the
Yeah, and I agree with that. If he's going to reevaluate it at the end of the year and just be like, you know what, I could go get so and so. Maybe he's already reached out to someone. Maybe he does realize at the end of 2 years, man, we got to do something different, right? So yeah, maybe he will change. Some of the other, just look at some of the other D coordinators. No one's really ever talked about this, but Freeman was one of 4 that all came in pretty much together. Mike Elko, Venables, and then you got Lanning. So you got 4 first-time head coaches are all D coordinators, now head coaches. And look at the offense they're running. Freeman chose to do what he's doing. So maybe after 2 years, he wants to change, but we'll see. And if he doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised if he's saying a lot of the same things right now as well. Like, we got to get some more dudes at a few spots here and there. And that's why they're recruiting at the clip they've been recruiting at the last couple of years.
Okay. All right. Another super chat and another one from Trash. Thank you. He says, people called for Tommy's head last year, but in the bowl game, we did a bunch of stuff we didn't see during the season. You had Buckner back, and you only had him for 2 games. Some was Pine, but Tommy was happy he got his quarterback back, and that spent all spring training. So, any thoughts on this? And Trash, thank you for the 10.
No, exactly. He had 15 practices back with with Tyler Buckner, and they ran the offense which was the goal. Him running still. He did the audible against South Carolina, ran the quarterback keeper for the 20-yard touchdown run. Did some nice little dumps, some bootlegs, things of that nature, and that was the offense that was the goal. Have him using his legs and arms all season long. But he got hurt in game 2, and the rest is history, as we know.
Trash, thank you as always. Joe Green says, so Tim, do you trust Parker or is it Freeman? Does it matter who the quarterback is?
Yeah, that's a nice pause, because it's like, what do you mean trust? Trust him to do what?
The offense.
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of just going out there saying, oh, you just got to fire people. You guys been there 1 year. He's not only has he been there 1 year. This is the other thing no one ever talks about.
Coordinator.
Exactly. He's been there 1 year as a coordinator. So, kind of going with Joey's saying about Freeman, and Freeman's in his 2nd year as a head football coach. Me personally, after listening to his press conference Monday, I think he's struggling to still figure a lot of things out. I do. I think that was his tone. I think he's felt like that a lot this year. He's still trying to figure out, I think, what he wants to do. Who is he? Things that work, things he don't. So does firing people, I don't know. I just don't buy that. Because what if you fired Al Golden? Then what? Then you're in another DC. Then you're in this. It's constant. There's got to be a point to where
you hired the guy, roll with them, right?
Yes, he did hire him. That's the other thing. I know they interviewed, we've talked about this like a billion times that, we know he interviewed other people. but he chose to hire him, 48 hours, 72 hours later after Ludwig, whatever it was that week. He didn't go out and interview more people on his Rolodex, on his list. He just said, you know what, I trust Parker, because Parker was a part of every single interview. Heck, he was at the hockey game, don't forget, with Ludwig. So Parker was involved all of this stuff. So people that wanted to fire Golden last year, now they want a statue for the guy. So I'm not saying Parker's going to be a Broyles Award candidate like Golden is this year, but it's 1 year and a second year defensive minded head coach's scheme. And I think Marcus Freeman's more involved in this thing than Parker.
Yeah. To answer the question, I trust Freeman. I'm rolling with Freeman. So if Freeman's like, hey, let's go with Parker, I'm rolling with it for year 3. If not, maybe it's blind faith that I'm putting trust with Freeman. I don't know. Maybe it's just like I love the recruiting chops as a recruiting guy. But like I personally, as a Notre Dame follower, I'm just rolling with Freeman to see where it goes. And year 3 is always a biggie, Tim. That's something you talk about all the time. Year 3 is always big, so we'll see.
No, it's huge. And then going back to your point, Mike, it's like if he feels like he could get a better coach, he's going to do that. I think he's proven that with players. He's proven that at the quarterback position. If he feels, and these are his choices too. It's, if he feels he could go get a better player to play a certain position, he's going to do it. And I wouldn't be surprised if he does that with the offensive coordinator. But if he's like, Parker, I'm in all these meetings, all of this stuff, this is what we're going to do. So, I mean, it's not like, and the other thing real quick, he's got Rudolph has been an OC. Gino was an old OC at Cincinnati last year. McCullough is obviously a Super Bowl champion running back coach, meaning he's been in offensive coordinating meetings. These guys all get together. It's not like they all sit in their own rooms and just email game plans. That's all these coaches do on Sundays and Mondays as they prep. So it's, yeah, I mean, Freeman's a part of all this stuff as well.
Yeah. All right, moving along. Notre Dame does have a game on Saturday. Wake Forest, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff, NBC Peacock. Tim, do you remember what the update was from Freeman on Monday about the offense line? So Spindler's out for the year, which is unfortunate news. Zeke Correll, starting center, is questionable with concussion. Andrew Kristofic, who replaced Correll in the Clemson game, has a high ankle sprain. So Freeman said on Monday that if they played the game today, it would have been Craig at center and Shrouth at right guard.
Yep.
I mean, Freeman should give more of an update on that Thursday. So just tomorrow in his press conference at noon Eastern that is not streamed, but the media will have an update on that. Hopefully someone asks him about that. But just kind of thoughts on this offensive line as the season winds down.
Yeah, well, Billy Shrouth is definitely going to start. I mean, he was one of the player interviews yesterday that went up to the press. So that shows you that, yeah, he's going to be – I mean, there you go. You got a redshirt freshman. They throw him to the press in his first start. How about that? He did a great job, by the way. So I watched his interview earlier today. Did a really good job. So, I mean, Billy was the odds-on favorite during spring football. Training camp starts, and Rocco beat him out. So he's next man in. He's going to get his shot. Obviously, highly ranked, highly recruited. Really good football player when he's been in. So you could see he's got a lot more explosiveness than Rocco. Rocco's just a tank out there. He's so thick when he gets a hold of you. And speaking of that real quick, man, there was one poll against Clemson. Rocco pulls and just pancakes the living heck out of Trotter, who was the national player of the week. So Rocco's a good football player. He had a good 10 games. It stinks that he got hurt the way he did. And Ashton Craig, hey, he was a third center. How about that? I mean, they put Kristofic ahead of him, and then Kristofic now with the high ankle sprain. So you got a couple of guys, Mike, that are true softs, right, from that 22 class. Mixon, Emil Wagner. Does Wagner replace Joe Alt? Then all of a sudden you got 3 out of those really good guys from the 22 class all starting as juniors next year. That's going to be exciting to see how those guys, keep developing. But no, I mean, they're good football players, and, they've gotten in a few times here and there. And, we'll see. Against Wake's not dominant on defense. Stanford's horrible. So it's 2 good games for these guys to go and get a lot of reps and get ready for 2024.
You posted a lot on the message board about Ashton Craig. You watched a
Yeah,
bunch of his snaps. What do you think about Craig?
oh my God, he blew me away. I was stunned. I watched the game and I'm charting the plays. I'm watching more Hartman, the wide receivers. So people started talking about him on the message board, and I was like, I'm gonna go watch his film again. I think he had 24, 26 snaps, something like that. And went and rewatched all of them, graded them all, charted them all, watched his footwork. Who did he go against? Went against some dudes. I mean, Tyler Davis is going to be an NFL draft pick. He stuffed him multiple times. Woods, number 11, the true freshman, just dominated Pat Coogan. Poor Pat. Holy moly. He did not play a guy like him all year. And then he was good, man. He was really impressive. One of only, I think, 4 players on the offense to get over 70 on Pro Football Focus, which is, winning football when you're in the 70s. So I was very impressed, very athletic. One thing, because you're watching so many guys. So when he got in against Pitt and some of that, you just watch him for a quick flash. But when you go back and watch Ashton Craig, he is long. So we always hear about, Anthony Knapp's, his length, and you mentioned him possibly being an interior guy. Dude, Craig, man, when he shoots his arms, he looks like he's a third offensive tackle out there in the line. So really, really looking forward to seeing him these next 2 games playing.
Cool. Yeah, that's good to hear. When I saw all those guys at the All-American Bowl, I saw Wagner, Craig, and Schrouth. They all look pretty good. I thought like Craig looked like he needed a couple years or like 3 years maybe, and I think he's coming along pretty well. Wagner's just such an interesting one because I think that he worked out at some guard over the summer or camp.
They were just trying to just make sure. I think he was moving those guys around like crazy just to confirm Spindler and Coogan or his guys. I think he just kept going there. Wagner, man, his high school film was unbelievable. I mean, he is athletic. When he's gotten in this year and has played, he's been playing right tackle behind Blake. So that's interesting. The whole Tosh Baker, we'll get into that. He's kind of the wild card because he's still on the team and you lose track of him. He was an elite top 100 recruit who's actually gotten some starts and has played a bunch. So does he come back? Because he still has 2 years of eligibility. So does he come back is the left tackle? But it's going to be a battle some way, some sorts with, I would assume, Wagner and Baker if Baker does come back. But Emil Wagner's an athlete, man. I can't wait to see him keep developing.
Folks, if you have not done so yet, please hit that thumbs up button on this video. Of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content. Blueandgold.com, of course, is your home for all things Notre Dame football and recruiting. So check it out. Chat's always cracking me up. So Tim, how about some junior season film posted by Notre Dame quarterback commit Duce Knight, Lucedale, Mississippi, George County High School. Nation's number 46 overall player, number 4 quarterback, 6'4.5", 195 pounds. I was texting with some of the On3 scouting guys, and they were pretty impressed with Duce Knight's junior film. But we're going to go to Tim Hyde as there is a 10-second advertisement on Huddle. So I'm going to wait for that to wrap up
click that
before we okay, so here we go.
This is updated junior film?
Yeah, have you watched it yet? Yeah, well, this is a topic because I woke up to text from you and Goolsby talking about this.
Yeah, I mean, I've only seen some of his some game clips here and there on Max Preps, whatchamacallit, YouTube's. I haven't seen his true highlight film yet, so he's a left-handed Vince Young, as someone said in the chat a month ago, right? When he was on our show 6 weeks ago, whatever the heck that was back then. He's an athlete, man. He's definitely an athlete. Some of his true game, highlight films are what? Highlight films, right? They're all the best things. He's still raw tomato, as I like to call him. Still has a lot of some accuracy issues to work out and just straight passing game, but he's got a lethal arm. And he could run, man. He can run. It goes back, Mike Goolsby talks about this all the time, and it's so darn true. It's like when is Notre Dame going to have a guy that could just do all those things, right? Like Jaden Daniels at LSU, who's just like, no one's here. I'm going to go 85 yards on a just
A
boom,
truck.
just take off.
Get a truck.
Exactly. And just be that guy all the time where every DC is scared. They're just scared. This goes back to the whole wide receiver argument once again. When you don't have a quarterback that can move, there's no need to attach someone to him in the game. There's no need. Have we seen anyone run spy coverage? No. We see Notre Dame do it all the time. Notre Dame keeps a linebacker in Maris. They run loops, Sneed, Maris, whoever it is. It's always spying on a quarterback. Sam Hartman's had 0 spies on him this year because there's no need. So it's, we haven't seen one really since Ian Book. And that helps an offense when you have to take someone out of the pass game. You get more one-on-ones, and hopefully you get some guys on the outside that could go make some plays. But that could be Duce Knight. I'll be honest, he's exciting to watch. But man, I feel like he's 4 years. I mean, how many years away? I have no idea. It's always fascinating that here we are in 2023 talking about a guy who's not going to be at Notre Dame for 18 more months.
Yeah.
But that's recruiting these days.
I am totally fine with like a high ceiling, low floor guy. Yeah. I mean, we need more of these high ceiling guys at Notre Dame at the quarterback position. Like, we don't need more high floor guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, give me.
No, yeah. I mean, you're so correct, because even the guys that are going to be playing next year, and Jelly, no one's going to be spying Stephen Jelly. Is Kenny Minchie? I haven't really ever seen Minchie run. His film was all pocket. You didn't really see him move too much other than some rollouts here and there. So see a guy that could take off and run at times.
Yeah,
never
listen,
seen
having a linebacker spy or quarterback, sure, that's great. But like, this guy is just freakish overall. Like, he is.
But that's the thing. You have to account for him. You have to account for him as a runner. So when you have to take, why do you think LSU is just destroying teams this year with passes? And Alabama's offense has completely changed with Milroe the last month, because they'll run, and then boom, he's going to hit you over the top of the play action, or he's going to tuck in and run for 150 yards like he did in the LSU game. You got those guys that could just take off on a dime and go make plays. You have to constantly account for them and go make plays. Like Nick Saban real quick talked about when Daniels was running crazy against them. He went into halftime and just told the whole defense, we're playing man. We're going to put a guy on Jaden Daniels the whole rest of the game. The rest of you guys better play your butts off, because you're playing man-to-man the rest of the game. So that's how you have to account for stud quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, he's fun, man. Like, he's fun to watch. I have great interactions with him. I don't know. Like, I don't.
He's legit tall. I mean, that's the other thing. You met him. He's like 6'4".
Very tall.
Yes.
I don't think he's a running back playing quarterback either. Like, I think that, like, he looks like, you see it on his film, like he's making reads, like he's looking at different options. Like, I think that he's just a quarterback who has these very good God-given abilities with his height and his 4.5 speed. This is really exciting.
Well, that's the thing. Daniels is a quarterback who could just take off and run when need be. So just using those guys since they're on TV a week ago, Milroe is more of a runner who's developing as a quarterback slowly. But no, you're right. He's definitely a quarterback that's going to sit in there. But if he's got to take off and go, damn well he could go get you some yards, because he is an athletic dude in the open field. If you're going to sit there and you're going to drop safeties in the coverage and whatnot, give him a lane. Yeah, I could see Duce Knight taking off and running down the road.
All right, so that is Notre Dame quarterback commit Duce Knight. Some really good back-to-back years of quarterback recruiting for Notre Dame. Getting CJ Carr, who is a guy who has a high floor, pretty high ceiling, but I don't think CJ Carr has the Duce Knight level ceiling. I just think that those two guys complement each other really well in back-to-back classes, both outstanding quarterbacks. So in today's show, we talked comments from Marcus Freeman and Gerad Parker, looked at that offensive line rotation, finished up with some Duce Knight footage, new junior film. Appreciate everyone watching. If you just joined us here in the last few minutes or so, or you can rewind the stream, you can watch it from the beginning. If you are listening via podcast, of course, please leave us that good review. That would be very appreciative. And folks watch on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, of course. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so yet. Tim and I are going to record our final thoughts, observation, and prediction video because, yes, we didn't really talk Notre Dame Wake in today's show. We will do it for our Friday video that I'll post around noon Eastern time. Tim's 3 keys to the game and a score prediction. So we really appreciate everyone tuning in for today's show. Appreciate you all. And as always, we will catch you next time.